Hello, and welcome to this week's episode of Montcast. So this week's episode of Montcast is not going to be different, but it's going to be weird. I guess unofficially the spotlight is on E3, which is arguably the biggest gaming event of the year. I feel like the episode kind of has to revolve around it, and I struggled with so many ways of trying to put this episode together, and I just kind of settled on what my instinct was, and I hope you enjoy this episode. Anyways, your new game went totally off the wall with this one, so I could have done this as the new game a long time ago. But I've picked Fortnite. Bear with me here. So Fortnite is now available on Switch, and I'm pretty sure it's available everywhere. Don't quote me on that. It might not be on Xbox, but PC's got it, Mac's got it, PS4's got it, Switch has got it, and your mom has got it, your dad has got it, your brother's got it, your sister's got it. Everybody is playing this game now more so than ever. So I picked it as my new game of the week because it's just will not die, and it's a hot flame, and it's burning extremely bright with tons and tons of players. However, at the end of the day, this game is not dying, and they just keep going off the wall with adding new crazy stuff to it, and I think that's got a lot to do with its longevity. But I expected to see this game dying down by now, and yeah, it's dying a little bit, but its growth is greater than the player base that's leaving it, so there's got to be something to it. So yeah, I cheated. I went with Fortnite for my new game. So, video game news. First, I wanted to start off with two special little things. I am doing my Extra Life Marathon over on twitch.tv/Montcast832. This coming Tuesday is my next Extra Life Marathon. It's going live at 9 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Come hang out, help the kids, all that good stuff. Moving on. Game changers. For those of you who enjoyed the episode 17 Spotlight interview with John Keating, or at all interested in game changers, Dreams of BlizzCon, the pre-order discount is no longer a thing, unfortunately. But we can still get it. It's on iTunes, Prime Video, and something else that I forget. You can check it out with the link in the episode description, and you can buy it. Let me tell you, they allowed me to pre-screen this, so I got to watch the film before release, and I've still purchased a copy. So there's that. That tells you how interesting I found it, how I really enjoyed it. So, 40 on the Switch, I already mentioned this earlier. Fortnite has come to the Switch, and so has Mario Party. There's a Mario Party coming to the Switch. This is all E3 news. I'm just running down some of the major news that came out of E3, and trust me, I'm not covering it all. I'm not even beginning to cover it all, because I want to keep this episode short. The Montcast was always about keeping it concise and just covering the big news, and that's it. So if there is anything you think you might be interested in, I'm leaving an E3 recap link in the episode description. You should definitely go check that out. But Super Smash Brothers fan service, for Switch, is coming in December, I think. Yeah, I think I've said enough. More Walking Dead from Telltale and more Walking Dead from Overkill. Two totally different Walking Dead games. The Telltale one is the last in their series, or at least they're calling it the final season. That doesn't necessarily mean it will be the final season, but it probably means it's the final season. The Walking Dead from Overkill game is a completely different game, and if you're at all interested in the Walking Dead type of genre, you should check out those games. And if you have not played through the previous Walking Dead Telltale games, you don't know what you're missing. Telltale makes amazing story games, and every single one of them is worth your hard-earned money, I think. So, that's my opinion. Jurassic World, Revolution or Evolution, something like that. You're a curator of a dinosaur museum or something, if what I've gathered is correct. If dinosaurs are exciting you and you're willing to spend like $80 on a game, I know where to point you, and that's that new Jurassic World game. Assassin's Creed. There's a new Assassin's Creed game. That's about all you need to know. No. The Division 2, Washington, D.C. That's about all you need to know about that. If you're interested in The Division, that's probably a game you're going to be interested in. If you're not, it's probably not a game you're going to be interested in. There's more Fallout. The Fallout 76 is coming. And Fallout Shelter. I believe this is an old game that was made free. I'll probably be playing a little bit of Fallout Shelter on my Extra Life Marathon. There's more to the Doom franchise, finally. More Doom. Man, just when you thought it was over, there's more Doom to go around. So, that's coming. We got Cyberpunk 2077. I have mentioned this game earlier in a previous episode of Montcast, that is. It is something crazy, like 7 years in the making, but we still don't have a gameplay trailer. It's a cinematic trailer, and it's coming not this year. There's a ton of hype about it, but it is still yet to come out, and we don't, I believe, have a gameplay trailer for it. So, I guess we'll see. More Cuphead. That's about all you need to know about that. More Forza. That's about all you need to know about that. More Halo. That's about all you need to know about that. Anthem, the highly anticipated game from the Edmonton BioShock Studios, was present at E3, and I think you should just go watch the presentation at E3. All the videos are readily available online. And, for example, I just got a PlayStation 4. So you can come kick my butt at Fortnite in person if you want. But if you have a PlayStation, you should go watch Sony's E3 conference and so on and so forth. And I know PlayStation has its own con, which is Amazeballs and all that. But you should go watch a Sony's E3 console. Although that one in particular was plagued by some difficulties that it was weird. But that conference, the Sony conference, was interesting, I guess. Just recap. There's a recap E3 link in the episode description that covers everything that was announced at E3 for 2018. It's also technically got the archives from previous years if you're interested. But yeah, check that link in the episode description. Find games and franchises that you are interested in. I kind of just scraped the surface of the major brands and major franchises that announced something, but there's so much to cover, and I want to keep this episode short. So check that recap link in the episode description.
Have you ever tuned into an esports tournament or Twitch stream and wondered, what the heck is going on in this game? What team is even winning right now? The commentators are explaining what's going on using words that you've never even heard of before, and you've just felt lost? Worry not. Montcast presents a new series coming July 2018. Video Games Explained is a series that breaks down different video games for people who have never even heard of them and explains the fundamentals in plain English without the complicated gamer terminology so that you have an idea what's going on in those esports tournaments you watch.
So I'm breaking with my pattern. As I mentioned earlier in the episode, I am new to the console game. Well, I'm not new to it, but I'm back in it. I've had every PlayStation growing up as a kid, and I finally got the PlayStation 4. So in being motivated by that, I guess, I have decided to take my indie game away from Steam for this week's episode of Montcast. I'm going with This War of Mine, The Little Ones. It's a PlayStation game. If you're familiar with This War of Mine, it's a great franchise, great 2D platformer, and hours of entertainment. Just check out the trailer. The trailer does a really good job for this specific game anyways, of letting you know exactly what you're getting out of your money when you buy this game. And if only every game did that. But yeah, this one does a good job. There's a little cinematic that kind of intros the story, and then there's some gameplay so you know exactly what you're getting. It's really a textbook perfect trailer for a game. It may not be the perfect game for you, but the trailer is perfect at letting you know what you're getting. And of course, there was some esports, so let's just quickly power through that. The ECS S5, I believe that's Season 5 finals, talking Counter-Strike Global Offensive, went to Astralis over Team Liquid 2-0 in the final there. And ESL 1 Belo Horizonte in Brazil is currently underway. I will recap the grand final of that major tournament. Well, it's not a major tournament, but I'll recap the grand final of it anyways in the next episode of Montcast. Moving on, we've got NBA 2K news for a change. So they had their first mid-season tournament. I believe it was called The Turn. And Blazer 5 took that one. Blazer 5 has consistently shown to be one of the top teams here in this league. And they took this tournament, or now done that first segment of the season. They will move back into a couple weeks of regular season games before doing another mid-season tournament. I'll recap that later on when they do that. Intel Extreme Masters Shanghai is going to take place during the Counter-Strike Global Offensive competitive season break in August. So if you're wondering and you missed the announcement there, it's going to take place during that quick little break there. And mixed feelings about that because it's one of the few breaks in the CSGO season, but it is what it is. Overwatch League teams are now allowed to sell their own merch. That's cool, right? So they've always been allowed to sell merch, but it had to be like in the league's template. Like you can sell your jersey, but this is the template for jersey in the Overwatch League, says Blizzard. Yeah, they've lifted a lot of those restrictions, so you're gonna see a lot more cool, interesting branding opportunities coming out here in the Overwatch League, and it's right as we're gearing up for the playoffs. We are in the last weekend of the regular season for the Overwatch League. That's super exciting. The playoff race is kinda close, depending on which playoff race you're talking about, of course. There's the Stage 4 playoffs, and then there's the overall playoffs. And so it's really exciting to have both of those exciting playoff races unfolding at the same time. But this is the last weekend of the regular season. Then we're going to get into the stage playoffs, and then we're going to get into the overall playoffs. And I will, of course, be covering the playoffs in future episodes of Montcast. It's not just going to be boom, one and done, because the playoffs take a little bit longer to unfold than that. The stage playoffs will be a one and done. This is how it went. But the overall playoffs are going to take a little bit longer to figure out who wins that one, the grand final at the Barclays Center in New York City. One last bit of news. Team Liquid has broken their major curse. They are Super Major China champions. That means they are ready to take on the world at the infamous International for the Dota 2 World Championships coming up in Vancouver. So Team Liquid champs there. And yeah, that's about that. There's no listener questions again this week. But let me know what you thought about E3. Let me know if I could have covered E3 in a better way that's still a short format. Let me know. And then, of course, subscribe so you never miss an episode. Listen on the Radio Public mobile app, because every time you listen there, I get paid, and it's pretty cool. And then I can pay the kids for that whole Extra Life thing. Make sure you check out my Extra Life Marathon on Tuesday. And, of course, thank you to Approaching Nirvana for the awesome background music in yet another episode of Montcast.